and I run it, and I run it, and I run it, and I run it. Yes, I run it.
So, do these artists have like, do you kind of have like a personal connection like outside of like business, where they like invite you on any tours or like any concerts or anything?
Yeah. Vince was the first person to ever take me on like a tour, for real, and I really appreciate it because like, at first I was a little hesitant, like I was a little scared. I didn't know what I was jumping into really, but I really like kind of caught a groove for it. You know, like probably a week or a couple weeks in, and I really started kind of like embracing it, enjoying it, and it, you know, just like going on tour is so interesting because like.
Which tour did they take you on?
It was Tyler's tour, Tyler the Creator's tour, the Call Me If You Get Lost tour.
Yeah.
So we were like opening for him, and my job was like playback. So essentially, like at that level, like certain artists stopped using DJs, you know, to play the music, so they use like a playback engineer, and we have like basically all the stems to the songs, and like we have to like make sure they're routed properly so we can send them off to the engineers who mix the show. And then, you know, we help put together the set list. I was also helping like do transitions and doing extra production on certain songs.
So were you like constantly working, or did you get to enjoy the performance?
I would say most of my work was like like show prep.
Okay.
Like by the time I got to the show, it was really just about hitting play, letting most of the show run, and then like cueing the outro.
So you were able to turn up a little bit, like.
Yeah, I mean, you know, I was trying to make sure everything was working. For the most part, because like the thing about playback that could be kind of nerve wracking, especially since I had no prior experience doing that until like a week before the tour. Like I had to learn that job kind of quick, and we were playing stadiums and shit. Like it was a little nerve wracking at first because I didn't feel fully comfortable yet. So I was definitely like monitoring a lot, but I got to like soak it in. You know?
Is there any event that was like very memorable that stands out to you, like one of your favorite?
There's a few. There's a few. There was like we played one show during that run that was like technically like not a part of the tour, but it was like a stop in all the artists on that tour. Like it was like a festival basically in New Orleans. So we played that, and like the set list was just different. We like switched the set list up for that show, and like it was just funny. Like we had like kids like stage diving and just doing certain stuff. It was just, like we gave one of them the mic, and like they were like singing the lyrics to certain songs. It was just like funny. And then there was one when we were in I can't remember if it was Vancouver. I think it was Vancouver. It was in Canada, and we're like where I was set up. I was like within this like railing, and you know there's fans right there. And like toward the end of our set, there'd always be photographers that would come. Like it'd be local photographers for press and stuff that would come. And like during one of the songs, I just felt like out of nowhere this pressure like on my back, and I like caught myself and I like turned around. And this guy, one of the photographers, had fallen on me because he tried to get an angle. And he tried to stand on this barricade and he fell like right on me, and I was like, oh shit. And he was really apologetic and everything, but I was scared because like I had to push the table, and there's like the laptops that run the show, and like this iPad too that like we used to like as a controller to play and stuff, and like dude almost killed the whole show. Like it's just like if I could have knocked the laptops off the table, and it could have been a real mess. Like, but luckily like nothing got knocked off, nothing like, but. That was definitely memorable because I was like, holy shit, this guy almost killed the whole shit. Like lights would have went out, like everything, you know, because everything was synced to the playback that rig. So yeah, that was crazy. That was definitely crazy.
What or like who was your biggest inspiration in music?
I'd say I probably had like a few. My two favorite artists really are Frank Ocean and Imogen Heap. Really, I think that like I just like gained a lot of knowledge from like how they put songs together, just like how much time and like patience they have with the music. music. Like they don't rush anything, and like I really respect that aspect of it. It's like they really sit with their music and approach it from every angle before they feel like it's ready, and they release it out into the world. So, and the quality is always phenomenal. So, yeah, those are my two biggest inspirations.
Is that something you do too? Like, how long would you say it usually takes you to make a beat or a song?
Beats are usually a little quicker because I feel like, at least the way I produce, it's like for beats, I kind of look at them as like kind of ingredients for songs. So it doesn't necessarily. It's like sometimes I'll make a beat in an hour or something, or maybe 30 minutes or something, and then I'll give it to an artist. They'll write a song to it, record to it, and it'll be great, and it'll be done, right? Sometimes it'll be like, I'll make a beat, maybe 30 minutes to an hour, send it to an artist, they'll write something to it, record something to it, or maybe like we'll work on it together, and it's just not quite there yet. And then maybe I gotta switch something in production up. Like sometimes it'll be something minor, it'll be like structural changes, like with the instrumental, like the beat. Sometimes it'll be like real major, like I'll completely 180 the beat. Like maybe I'll take the whole melody out, try something else. I'll swap the entire drums out. I'll maybe do no drums. Like to me, it's just like about like what's best for the song. You know, I'm not one of those people that's like bragging if I make 5 songs a day. I just think it's kind of like I think the whole point is to make really quality stuff. You know, I don't think it's like about the quantity. You know.
Do you use like samples, or is everything original, like from your own?
Most of the stuff's original. I think that like as I've gotten older, I've embraced sampling more. Sampling to me is really an art form. Like it's very like much a real test of somebody's taste. You know, like because it's all about picking like really tasteful music to sample and like tasteful sections and utilizing those like samples in a really creative way that are, you know, tasteful. So I've embraced it a lot more. I still don't think I do it too often, but yeah, I definitely want to do it more. You know, moving forward for sure.
How do you feel about like producer recognition in the industry? Do you feel like it could be like higher, or do you feel like you get enough credit, or?
I just, me personally, I don't. You know, I do notice like there's this new trend of like producers like being more out there. Like people are doing albums, and it's like, you know, the artist. Producer, like that's what the title is, right? That's what's getting put on the album covers, what's getting put on like the artist name for distribution, all that. I'm not opposed to it, but I'm also not like super geeked on it either. I think like I really just believe like the focus for me at least is just serving the music. You know what I mean? Letting the music speak for itself, and I think that'll like, you know, kind of showcase what I'm capable of doing more than like me trying to like push my name everywhere and like be the face. You know.
So you don't really care too much about like the fame and the look, or?
No, I don't really. I really don't. I think like it's more about like kind of showcase what I'm capable of doing more than like me trying to like push my name everywhere and like be the face. You know.
So you don't really care too much about like the fame and the look, or?
No, I don't really. I really don't. I think like it's more about like
Just the art.
yeah, the art. You know, I think that's like really important. I think that sometimes we can get a little caught up on certain things. You know, but I do think there's like some positives to like producers getting more like recognition and like just being seen like as more equal to like artists. I think that's pretty cool.
Yeah. What's kind of your overall goal with like music in general?
I just want to be a part of like really important music. Like bottom line, I think I just want to like contribute. You know, the same way like athletes like contribute to like winning teams. It's like that's how I kind of view like making music. Like if I gotta be an engineer, you know, and the project comes out phenomenal, I'll be more than happy to do it. If I gotta be, you know, the producer or guitar player, or bass player, if I gotta do even like vocals or help write or something, like you know, I'm game to do that. Like as long as the stuff we're making is really great and like different, like you know, phenomenal. You know, that's kind of my goal. So like, I want to be able to look back and be like, damn, like I worked on some really great records. You know?
Was there ever a time where you felt like music kind of like wasn't for you, or you got discouraged and kind of like stepped away from music?
I feel like I do take some like breaks sometimes. I think like before music was like very much like my life. You know what I mean? I think like I would just like really be laser focused, not let anything distract me outside of music. But I don't know. I think as I've gotten older, I've just like appreciated just living life more. You know what I mean? And like, there's just way more things in life beyond just like making songs all day.
Yeah.
And you know, I still view like working on music as like very important. You know, and I feel like it's important to do it at like a really high level. But I feel like you know, there's so many other things in life that are just as important. You know.
That's kind of like what I've been doing with too. Like I used to pump out like videos like crazy, but it's like I kind of want to like I have like a regular job. I have friends. I have like stuff to do like other than just interviews all day. Like
yeah, no, I think it's important. Like it's like
because at one point like it kind of just like doesn't become fun. Like if you're just too focused, you know, like
yeah, you can get kind of robotic a little bit. It gets kind of stale, you know, trying to like just like produce content and do things all the time. So yeah, no, I think as I've gotten older, like I've appreciated it. Like I like staying consistent and just like getting like really, I really view it as like getting my reps in sometimes, like just staying fresh. But you know, I think another part that does help like write music is like just living your life, and experiencing things. It's like gives you different perspectives. Like I feel like going on a tour like really gave me a different perspective. And I didn't make really any music for real aside from like additional production stuff on the show. I wasn't really making music for like for 2 months straight. So, but it got me back refreshed.